This is not Inverness. You have made a wrong turn from there. I don't care what you believe. This is not Inverness. You have made a wrong turn from there.
Wrong turn?
Well, young ladies, we seem to be...
We should have never taken that crazy shortcut.
You mean we'll never find our way back?
I should have never come on this tour.
Now relax, girls. We found our way here and we can find our way out.
You must leave immediately. In a few hours, the access road will be cut off by the incoming tide. If you do not leave right away, you may...
Get stuck here all night. All night? In this crazy place? Professor Valkenstein, no. You've got to get us out of here.
Soon, Lizzie dear, soon. Where are we anyway, Mr. Zono? Dr. Zono. Dr. Zono? And this is my castle, Professor.
It's a creepy castle.
Very creepy.
Isn't this a strange type of castle for the middle of Scotland?
Well, I had it transported stone by stone from my native land. It is old and may seem strange, as you say. Creepy? But that is beside the point. On your British tour, you missed Inverness by 140 kilometers. You should be able to make it by dawn.
Dawn? But Professor, my body needs rest. It'll come to a complete stop if it doesn't have any rest. In fact, I think it's slowing down right now.
Oh, don't worry, Francis. I've got you. We women must always look after our men.
Lisa, please. We've only known each other a week.
I don't want to stay here all night. Professor, can we please leave?
You couldn't put us up for the night, could you, Zono? Absolutely not, Professor.
Professor, we don't want to stay here. There's fantasies in this line.
I'm afraid your old professor has made a terrible mistake. I wanted to show you Macbeth's castle in Inverness, but we seem to have ended up at...
Frankenstein's castle.
No! My castle. Frankenstein's castle was a dump.
Is this really Frankenstein's castle? Where the monster was made? Professor, please!
I don't want to be eaten by a monster. Let's get out of here.
All right. I only hope you can make it back to the car in this cart.
Just follow the path, Professor. Lead straight to the road. Thank you for stopping by.
Just a moment. Where are Lisa and Francis?
They're probably racing each other back to the car, Professor. Trying to figure out which is the better man.
You mean Lisa is a man?
Just update your own speech, Sally. Nobody will listen to it.
We're sorry for this intrusion, Dr. Zono. Good night.
Good evening. Good evening. To leave her, I thought they would never go. But now, to work.
There's another visitor.
Send them away. We've had more than enough visitors for one evening. We have to get on with the experiment. Now, we need someone to experiment on, yeah?
That's why I thought you might be interested in the visitor.
We can't take any chances. Anybody that would come, especially with the tide coming in, is too dangerous to experiment on.
This is a brush salesman. Take kind to the black dog. I think he might be just right.
Bring him in.
He said he just dropped by.
Good salesman can never overlook a customer. You made a special trip to come here, yeah? You knew the tide was coming in, no?
Oh, no, sir. I was just making my regular rounds, and I happened to catch a glimpse of this here castle. Well, I thought you might need quite a supply of brushes to keep it clean. So I got out my old waders and put them on. Neither rain nor snow nor arc of night shall stay the brush salesman from the swift completion of his duties to make the world a cleaner, brighter place to live. Let's give it that fresh brush look.
Oh!
I have toothbrushes, too. They come in all sizes. Here, let me show you my samples.
Didn't I say, Dr. Zono, that you should see this man?
Yeah, it's perfect. Hand me the equipment.
Now, these brushes are all of the finest British quality. My word! I've been stung by a bee!
Before you tell me about the brushes, Mr. Salesman, tell me this. Do you play chess?
No, sir. Never learned the game. Too complicated for me. Checkers. I'll take you on a checkers any day. But back to work. The brushes.
I'll buy them. Here, look at this book. It is a simple manual on chess, explaining moves, rules, and in 1,000 pages, everything you need to know for the first 5 years.
You know that bee? I think I must have been allergic to it. I feel quite odd. Now, you say you're going to buy a complete set of brushes for your house or castle. Very interesting architecture. Very unusual.
You are a student of architecture?
Well, no. One sees a lot of types of architecture in my line of work. Well, looking back, it's not hard to put 2 and 2 together.
Fabulous. Here, take the book. Just look at it.
Well, I always thought that chess would be too difficult for me. But now that I look at it, it really doesn't seem that hard, does it? Matter of fact, I'll try again.
Splendid. It just so happens I have a chessboard set up right here. Since you are my guest and it is your first time playing, you may make the first move. You can be the white players.
This should be interesting. Pawn to King's 4.
A common beginner's move. Pawn to King's 4.
Knight to Bishop 3rd.
Knight to Queen, Bishop 3rd.
Bishop to Queen's Knight 5th.
You say you have never played before.
Never, but it's a fascinating game. The King's Knight opening. Bobby Fischer uses it in almost 80% of his games. Very strong play, good attacking chess. I say, this is much more fun than selling brushes. Well, what's your next move? There's no need to take all of this time. It's all perfectly obvious.
Okay. Pawn to Queen's Rook 3rd.
Bishop takes knight.
You play a very dangerous game. You realize, of course, that move sacrifices the initiative you have developed, leaving open your queen's side.
Don't talk, just play. I haven't got all night.
So, we are going to play instantaneous chess then, right?
Right. Make your move.
Check. Don't you see, you fool? You are going to lose your queen. You must protect your king now, leaving your queen completely unguarded.
Yes, I noticed.
Now I take the queen. You are lost, no?
No, I move so. Checkmate.
What is that? I have just been checkmated by a brush salesman who has never played chess before a day in his life. Wunderbar! Before the injection, you was an idiot brush salesman, but now you're a genius.
Yes, it's obvious that I received an injection while I was bending over, and that would account for my increased intellectual activity and altered perceptions. I will, of course, be certain to note any adverse side effects and hold you personally responsible. It was an experiment, wasn't it?
Yeah, my poor friend.
One you haven't perfected. I'll see that you're made to pay the penalty.
I'm afraid you'll be the one paying the penalty, but we thank you for the brushes.
This is wonderful. If the formula works this well on him, it could even work on him. Oh! And then, once I overcome the dreadful dead brain syndrome, my formula will be perfect.
The dead brain syndrome?
Yeah, it's a pain in the neck. You see, we have discovered that if one brain is good, then two brains is better.
Two and are better than one.
Precisely. When following on that, if two brains is better than one, then 1,000 brains is 1,000 times better.
So?
But it's just one little problem. It seems one live brain is better than 1,000,000 dead ones.
Makes sense.
For instance, Igor's brain is better than Einstein's brain. Simply because Igor's brain is alive to a degree. But Einstein's brain is unquestionably, irrevocably, and unashamedly dead.
So what's all that got to do with the cost of veins in Bristol's, Governor?
Well, it's a supply problem, you see. Getting live brains out of a live body, it just ain't easy.
I get your point.
The brain goes kapooey within minutes after it is removed from the body. And the body cannot live without a brain. It's a vicious circle. A live brain needs a live body, and a live body needs a live brain to work it. It's the dead brain syndrome. I discovered it.
So what's she gonna do?
We must get thousands of brains and synthesize them. So they make one extremely intelligent brain. We thought we could do this by creating a live brain, dead brain ratio and balancing it out. Unfortunately, it didn't work. As the brush salesman would tell you, if he could.
What do we do with them now?
Stuff them in the chimney. Later on, you'll come in handy. I had a dog, and the name was Rover. And he died. He died all over. And also, once upon a time, I had myself a cat. Until I found him in the road, all flat. What now? It's getting so that a mad scientist can't get any hurt them with all these interruptions. Go away! Who is there?
Scotland Yard, old chap! Open up in the name of the Queen!
I suppose I better. Come in if you mustn't.
Inspector Donally and Sergeant Abernathy of Scotland Yard.
And I am Dr. Zono, at your service.
Quite. Sorry to dash in unannounced like this, Doctor, but you see, the Sergeant and I have been on stakeout down at the churchyard.
The churchyard?
No, the churchyard.
Oh.
Yeah, down among the tombstones. Remember, Basil?
Stop it. It's official.
Whatever you say, Inspector.
You'll have to excuse my assistant. Just transferred to my department, you see.
Yes, Inspector. I don't want you to think that I'm not enjoying our little conversation, because I'm not. But, now, if there's anything I can do for you so that you and your sergeant can get back to the graveyard, I would like to. Otherwise, I would like to continue with my work.
Quite. Right. By the by, Dr. Zono, what sort of a doctor are you?
A foot doctor.
Say, Doc, I've got this bunion right here from walking the beach so long, and I wondered...
I'm doing research for the University of Bucharest, and I have no license to practice in your country. Now, if there are any other questions?
Quite. Well, you see, we've been on the trail of these body snatchers for quite some time now.
Body snatchers?
Quite so. That's what we call all the little chaps that run around robbing graves.
Who's your ghoul friend?
Stop the penny! I mean Sergeant.
Come on, Basil. Let's go back to the graveyard where it's nice and dark.
So we call them body snatchers. Once called them body pinchers. But the sergeant here volunteered for the assignment and arrested 20 young men.
All Italian.
Yes. Get on with it.
That's what I've been telling him.
Well, sir, would you believe that 53 corpses have disappeared from the churchyard?
A very small churchyard.
Well, tonight, don't you see, we trailed 2 of these body snatchers from the cemetery, and they went straight away to your castle.
Inspector, surely you do not think that I, a fellow of the University of Transylvania, would harbor grave robbers?
No, naturally not. But perhaps they're hidden in your castle somewhere.
I do not think so. I would know if they were.
Do you live here alone?
Completely. With Mrs. Potter, my housekeeper, and Igor, my faithful companion.
A housekeeper and companion? Male and female? Doctor, I'm afraid this presents us with a bit of a sticky wicket.
Would you like a moist towelette?
No, thank you. But you see, the two fit the description of our suspects. I'm afraid we're going to have a bit of a look around.
Out of the question, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I do not have time for snoopers.
Snoopers? Well, I like that.
And I don't.
Well, that's no way to act, old man, now is it? Now, don't worry. We'll be off just as soon as we've had a look around and a chat with your servants.
Inspector, I do not wish to interfere with police business, but you come in here in the dead of night, practically accuse my servants of body pinching and...
Snatching. It's quite different.
Whatever. Anyhow, I would like you to escort yourselves out.
When in close pursuit of persons observed committing criminal acts, no shelter, including household or other sanctuary, shall stay the constabulary in the pursuit of duty. Rule 194, Section C3.
Very good, Sergeant. Now, if you'll pardon us, Doctor, I'm afraid we did trail these two cadaver thieves to this very spot. And I must insist that we have a look around.
And when you find nothing...
We'll give you an official apology and be on our way.
Back to the graveyard, huh, sweetie?
Stop that! Should we leave, will you?
Very well, Inspector. I shall give you the tour.
Anybody home?
Oh, come on, Francis, that's no way to give results. Anyone home? Open up. Professor Valkenstein. Oh. Nice, see, Francis? Wasn't that simple?
I think I've broken something.
Nonsense, it's all in your head.
You're right. It's my head that's hurt.
This is where we started from, Francis. We're right back where we started. This is weird.
I don't know, Lisa. Breaking and entering is hardly a sociable way of visiting. Maybe we'll be arrested. Or shot even.
That secret panel is over there someplace. Wanna find it?
No, not again. Once was enough. Let's just find the others and go.
With this storm brewing outside, we probably won't be able to get away from here till morning.
Morning? But that's hours away. You think we'll have to stay here all night?
Not as bad as it sounds, Francis. At least we're here together, you and me.
Well, I'd much rather we were together someplace else. Like, say, the Savoy in London.
Oh, Francis, I never knew you were so romantic.
Aww.
Listen, someone's coming.
Good.
Bad. Honey, I can't explain it. I've got a strange feeling in my bones there's something mighty weird going on around here.
I'll buy that. We should never have left the group.
Well, I don't want to get caught by that Dr. Zono. Come on, let's get back in that passageway.
Nothing doing. Well, I like you, Lisa. But not enough to go back there again.
Well, okay. We've got to hide. Come on, let's get back in that chimney.
Lisa, sounds dirty up here. And besides, there's something stuck up the chimney.
Probably just a bird's nest. Pull it out. Oh, here, I'll help you. My, this is cozy.
Lisa, can I tell you something?
Oh, of course, darling.
Something personal?
Oh, what is it, Francis?
You're standing on my foot.
What's up there? I can't see a thing. What?
Is something bad? It's so dark. Lisa! Professor Valkenstein,
Do you want to wake up the dead? I'm sorry, I didn't say that.
Professor!
I'm back in that passageway.
Not that way.
Who's in here? What's going on? Igor! How many times have I told you to pick up your toys? Shame on you, black-hearted fool! Out, give me on!
Well, well, well. What have we here?
Oh, Drat! It looks like I've run my nylons.
Inspector Donally, Sergeant Abernathy, may I present to you Mrs. Potter, my housekeeper, Igor, my manservant, and friend.
Nice to make your acquaintance, your worship.
Rather strange, chap. Why does it look so funny?
Igor? Well, Igor is an idiot. That's what makes him the perfect assistant. He never interrupts my experiment with idle chatter or foolish questions.
Pity. I say now. Hero, chap. Hey, look lively now. I say, it appears this poor chap has shuffled off the mortal coil.
Is he?
That is not, I'm afraid. I thought I asked you to wait and listen till we're off duty.
Inspector, I don't understand. I, Igor, and Mrs. Potter have been here all evening. We have not left the castle. However this man came to be here, I do not know.
I see. Well, my dear Dr. Zono, let us dispense with the niceties. Will you please come along quietly?
Are you not satisfied with the tour?
We were satisfied, Doctor, until we saw this with our own eyes.
Oh, and I suppose you expected somehow I persuaded this corpse to rise out of his grave, come tip-toe to my castle and lie in my chimney.
I suggest you do the explaining.
Well, black magic, special chemicals, giant infernal machines, electrical fields, magnetism. How should I know?
That's what you'd like us to believe, Zono? Well, tonight, back at the stakeout at the Elder Cemetery, we saw one of the tombstones move.
The tombstones move.
And out came two body snatchers, right out of the graves. Just as pretty as you please. One male and one female, or vice versa. We could tell that much. And we trailed them here. And that's when I tore my nylons.
Abernathy, let me handle this. See to the run in your stocking.
Yes, sir. Thank you, dear. Would you by any chance have any nail polish?
I beg your pardon?
That's quite all right, ma'am. I bet yours too.
Inspector, we went through the entire castle. We found no dead bodies, except for this one, and he was strictly uninvited.
If you do not wish to cooperate, we shall force you to cooperate.
And how do you plan to do that?
We shall leave now. However, tomorrow we shall return with an official warrant and a proper searching party to recover the other 52 bodies. It will be prison for you and your accomplices. In the meantime, why don't you see about having this chap tidied up a bit? Good day, Dr. Zono.
Basil, honey, do you suppose I could requisition a new pair of nylons through the yard? After all, they were ruined in the line of duty.
The final stages of the experiment must go through tonight. Mrs. Potter! Search this end of the castle. See if there are any more trespassers.
Yes, Dr. Zono, and if there are any...
Deal with them as you please. Use your imagination.
Yes, Dr. Zono, roll away.
Igor! Fix the table. They're going to make use of this corpse somehow. Wait. I have an itch. It's heavy for a brass salesman. I didn't think they made such good money to eat so well. All right. Go get the hacksaw. It's cleaner. Don't ever change. Now, what he is going to do is make a cut here, and then one perpendicular this way. This will open up the brain and make it easier to get all the good stuff. You ready? Okay. I'm kidding. Okay, now, seriously now. What to do? Nothing in the world like good honest labor. Igor! Get out of them! And bring them back here! And when you get them here, I will deal with them. Igor? Go!
Come on, Francis, this is our last chance!
We don't have a last chance. We'll end up like him. Oh, I feel faint.
Oh, come on, darling, back this way.
Yes, dear, just as fast as my wobbly legs will carry me.
Mrs. Potter, is that you?
It wasn't you?
No, I wasn't.
Confound it! Igor! Das Verleugnen für die Kunstverträge der Weichschwimmen. Something like this happens. In order. We can hide the body. Whoever it was might come back. Into the keep with you.
Is there anyone home?
Of course there's someone at home. The question is, why don't you go home?
We told you we're lost.
Why don't you unlost yourself? Go to Indians. Go to Gillett. If it is monsters you are looking for, go to Loudness. But please go. I told you before, Macbeth's castle is over 100 kilometers from here. Why have you returned?
We've lost two of our party, and we think they might be here. Look at all the dirt and mud in here.
Yes. Well, good domestic help is hard to find. You know how it is.
Mud had to be fresh. Otherwise, it would just be dirt.
You're not trying to say that Lisa and Francis are...
Oh, no!
Professor Valkenstein. Enough! Take your students and leave my temple! Please.
It's a bad night out. We thought if our missing students were lost, that they might return here.
Oh, is that what you thought? Oh, Inspector, what now? Have you come to arrest me again?
You're not going to say that Dr. Zono is a...
No choice this time, Zono. It appears the storm has built up quite a bit to the north of here. The marshes are covered, the roads are flooded. There's no way out. I'm afraid that we're all here for the duration.
You're not going to say that we have to stay here?
We'll all be dead by
If Dr. Zono is going to be hospitable enough to put us up for the night, the least we can do is be courteous.
Well, Dr. Zono, I suppose I have no choice. Mrs. Potter, will you please show them to their rooms?
Someone help me! Are there any candles? Where are the candles?
Will you please see to the candles?
Patience, girls. Just be patient. We'll have light in a few minutes.
Where is everyone? Oh, I think I just stumbled over. Professor, is that you?
Lisa? Ah, here we go. I found the candle.
At least no one can see the run in my nylon in the darkness.
It is Lisa. And Francis, thank goodness we found you.
Hi, Professor. We're fine.
Speak for yourself, Lisa. I'm a little shaken by the whole affair.
Francis, don't be modest. Really, folks, He's a tiger.
I'll bet he is.
Now, everyone, just keep cool.
Talk about cool. Look at Miss Potter. The lights go out, and she lays down and falls asleep.
Just a moment. Yes, I'd say she has decided to take a rest. A very long rest.
You mean she's...
I'm afraid she is, my dear, a dead duck.
Oh, no!
Women, what a time to pass out.
What better time?
Oh, no. I will never find a housekeeper so dedicated to her work.
Isn't he cute when he's asleep?
Down where he is. Unless, of course, the murderer wishes to step forward. In that case, everyone else may go home.
But what about the body of poor Mrs. Potter?
Now, really, old chap, you don't actually expect her to step forward, do you?
I suppose you want the body?
Well, certainly. Medical evidence, post-mortem, fingerprints on the knife, all that sort of thing.
You wouldn't settle, let's say, for just the knife and a death certificate signed by Professor Dr. Zono himself?
Absolutely not.
In that case, I shall hold you responsible for the accusations you have made against me.
Certainly. Drat, I'd forgotten about her. Here now, some of you chaps, come help me with the sergeant, please.
I'll help. Lizzie, lend a hand.
I just don't know what to do. I'm in a room with 2 dead people.
The sergeant isn't dead. She's only fainted.
And dead corpses lying all around. I just don't know what to do. Try lending a hand over here, Lizzie.
Francis, lend a hand. Well, Lizzie lent us a good cry.
I've got an agreement with dead people. I won't touch them if they won't touch me.
Will somebody please help me?
What? Help you? Well, I'll help you, honey.
Don't call me that. Get up. You fainted.
I did? But why?
Because Mrs. Potter has been killed.
Killed? Oh, no!
You've got to stop that. You know it drives me wild. Here now, some of you chaps, take the sergeant, put her in the other room, please.
Yes, sir. Come on, girls. She needs some help. Hurry. Come on.
Right, that's it. Put her in one of the bedrooms. Let's lie down with it. That's it, thank you. Now, Professor, Igor, if you would take Mrs. Potter, please. And don't leave the premises. We'll need statements from all of you.
In a storm like this, where would we go?
Inspector, you must protect me. The knife in Mrs. Potter's bag? It was a mistake.
Indeed. I'm sure that will be quite comforting to Mrs. Potter.
No, you don't understand. The knife was meant for me.
The devil, you say?
I did not think you would. You see, Inspector, I am on the verge of a major scientific breakthrough, and I have reason to believe news of my experiments has leaked out. These experiments, you know, are of such major proportions that, that any number of unscrupulous and ambitious individuals would like to get their hands on my notes.
The devil, you say?
If my experiment is successful, the entire world will be changed dramatically overnight.
Overnight, eh?
So you see, I must be protected.
From whom?
That's what I am telling you! Now those, sir, who would wish to steal my secret for their own selfish needs, and they will stop at nothing to accomplish their tasks.
Oh, yes, of course.
I knew you would understand. Actually, you're very bright for an Englisher.
Oh, yes, very bright indeed. Now, Doctor, if you would please give me some information on these experiments you've been conducting. I need it for my report, you see.
I feel much better now, darling. I'm sorry I fainted. I'd never seen a dead body before.
Yes, Abernathy. But you see, the doctor and I were having a very hush-hush dialogue. And, well, you've interrupted it.
I'm afraid that explanations to my experiments are going to have to wait.
Yes, but...
No, I have to. I must, really. I have to be running off and work. I've got to work, all day long, 9 days a week, all day.
Oh, Francis. I think we made a mistake.
I think I'm going to be sick.
You see, Inspector? You see what I mean? Spies! A genius is always in danger.
Now, don't get all out of shape, old man. These young folk are harmless enough to me.
Harmless! They have already put me hours behind schedule.
Where did you learn to say that word that way?
Sure. Lock them up, Inspector.
Now, Doctor, I don't see where these people pose any threat to you. They were merely curious, as I must confess I am too.
Yes. I just remembered. I left my iron.
All right, you may go about your business, but don't leave the premises.
And leave my work behind?
But Basil, don't you think we ought to question Dr. Zono further?
Later, my love. There's plenty of time for that. No one's leaving till morning anyhow.
All right. What about these two?
May we come in, Inspector?
What about the bunch of them? Oh, very well. Please come in, have a seat. Make yourselves comfortable. We could be here for some time. Not you, Penelope. There's no time for that. Here, take notes.
Yes, dear. Any particular subject?
This subject, Sergeant, this subject. We're investigating a murder.
Yes, sir. A murder. Let me write that down, sir. M-U-R-D-E-R. Yes, got it?
If you will allow me, Inspector.
Certainly, Professor. Can you shed any light on this case?
On this case.
That depends, you see. The students and I were over here studying...
Studying what?
Murder. Right now.
Agness, mind your manners. Literature. British literature.
And what is this place? Some sort of a famous library or something?
In a sense, yes, you see. To better understand Shakespeare, it is always helpful to see and feel the atmosphere in which he worked. We were studying Macbeth, one of his greatest tragedies, and we thought, that touring an old castle would, you understand, put us more in the mood, atmosphere and all that.
This is some atmosphere. That's all I can say.
Not always, usually only after final exams.
Yes. Well, Professor, this is one of the most isolated areas in the British Isles. Why come here? Certainly there are many more castles near to civilization. Abernathy?
There certainly are, honey. Remember the one we stayed in it, mucking on the Thames?
I remember. Go on, Professor. Answer the question, please.
A mistake, really, you see. I'm not an expert at reading maps and all that.
It wasn't really the professor's fault. No one could have read that map after Francis got sick on it.
Agness, for once, hush. It's not Francis's fault he's prone to motion sickness, is it, darling?
It's not my fault. Somebody threw my Dramamine down the toilet at the Hogshead Inn last night. Was that you, Agness?
Now listen here. I'm the investigating inspector here. I will ask the questions and I will deduce the deductions. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir. But, would you happen to have some spare Dramamine?
Sorry, old chap. Never touched the stuff myself.
You know you should, Basil, sweet. He's prone to motion sickness too, you know.
Oh, Sergeant, please. Do you intend on telling total strangers everything?
Well, I should hope not.
We were headed for what was supposedly Macbeth's castle in Inverness. Took a wrong turn, got lost and all that. but I find this place very interesting. Full of history, no doubt. Mystery, certainly. An enchanting place. I feel as if anything could happen here.
If tonight would be any indication, it will.
Slow down, sir, not so fast.
Where are you?
Lost?
Oh, Penelope, why didn't you ever learn shorthand?
Well, you know, I tried, Basil, but my fingers are just so long.
Now stop that, Penelope. Why did you even come on this assignment anyway?
You mean you don't know? Because our horoscopes match.
And just where do you think you're going, old boy?
I feel confined and closed in. I need to go outside to clear my head.
Well, Francis, it's storming horribly outside. And you know this castle is surrounded by marshes. I better go with you.
Sit down, the both of you! Nice try. But the two of you have a lot of explaining to do.
We do?
I'll tell you everything I know.
That won't take long. Ah, you jealous little trap! I'll rip your throat out!
Girls, isn't one murder enough for you two tonight?
Yeah, I guess so. Too bad it was wasted.
Now, what were you going to say?
Say? I was about to say something? Oh yes. You'll never believe.
What a wonderful time we're having here.
Wonderful time? How can you say that?
Well, it's,
Look, I'm not interested in your wonderful time. What I am interested in, old boy, is in what you were doing behind that door.
Well, we were, trying to open it, yeah. The knob was stuck.
The knob was stuck. Do you believe that?
Well, yes, sir. I was back there with him, and I saw it stick.
I don't believe this. There's a murderer running around this place. And Mrs. Potter was murdered. And you're talking about sticking doorknobs? What does sticking doorknobs got to do with anything?
It's all right, Lizzie dear. It's all right.
Lizzie's right. This is crazy. What are we all sitting around for?
Please sit down, young lady.
Young lady, you mean me?
You're lucky. The English are a polite race.
Now listen, all of you. I'm the investigating inspector here, and you'd have bloody well remember it. All you Americans, you think you know everything. Well, Scotland Yard wasn't discovered yesterday, you know. We've been around, I can tell you. I've been on the force for 12 years, and I've solved every kind of crime you can imagine. And this isn't the first run-in we've had with cadaver snatchers.
With what? What is a cadaver snatcher?
Someone who goes around pinching bodies.
I met one of those when we were in Rome.
You're not saying that Dr. Zono is a...
A degenerate. That's what I call him. You should have seen the black and blue mark I had on my body.
Yes, well, it's all a little sensitive.
You bet it is.
But the Yard does, however, suspect Dr. Zono and his accomplices of cadaver stealing. Unofficially, of course.
But what on earth for?
Experiments.
What sort of experiments, Inspector?
Professor, may I please speak with you over here alone for a moment? Everyone else, please leave the room. Find yourselves a room upstairs, and be prepared to come down when I call for you. I expect to have this murder solved by dawn.
Which dawn?
What did you say? Agness, go upstairs, and the rest of you, go on! And you two stay out of trouble.
That doesn't sound like much fun.
You're not here for fun.
Wanna bet?
Now, Professor, you seem very interested in the experiments of Dr. Zono. Tell me something. Do you know anything about the physiology of the brain?
Very little, actually, you see. With my students, one doesn't need to bother much about brains.
Yes, and have you ever done any scientific work yourself?
Oh, only to play around with some old Shakespearean formulae. You know, I do toe frog with a fetch, just the standard things.
Yes. And tell me something, Doctor. Have you ever heard the name Dr. Zono in that respect?
Well, now that you mention it, in the back of my mind there is a dim recollection of that name. A scientist, German I think, conducted human experiments during the war, as I recall.
Which war?
We've had so many, it's hard to keep track.
My dear Professor, the man of which you are referring to disappeared a few years back. He had a son at that. A very skilled surgeon. It was rumored that they were both killed when the father's laboratory had exploded. But then, Interpol received word that similar experiments had been taking part in various areas of South America. And then, Europe.
I see. The son, you think?
Who else?
And Basil has done a wonderful job of tracking them to this remote lair. A smashing job, actually. You should be proud of yourself, honey.
You see, bodies have been disappearing from local cemeteries. We thought of robbery at first. You know what I mean. Rings, gold fillings, watches, all that sort of thing. You wouldn't believe what some people try to take with them, oh boy.
But Basil caught on fast, didn't you, dear?
So, a yard sent us up here to check things out. There were rumors throughout the village, so we decided to plan a stakeout. Almost caught them tonight. Probably would have if I hadn't been for you and your students. Are you sure you simply lost your way?
What other reason would we have for coming to this wretched place?
Just wondering.
All we want is to get out, and as soon as possible.
Me too, actually. It's been fun, but...
Abernathy, just take notes.
As a matter of curiosity, Inspector, do you have any idea of the specifics of the experiments that Zono is conducting?
Actually, Professor, I don't want to be overheard, but I was going to ask you that same question.
Me? But how should I know?
Has something to do with the brain, I believe.
How do you know?
Over half the corpses in the area have had their brains removed.
Oh no, it's a terrible mistake.
I beg your pardon, sir. No mistake about it. I can show you proof. There's as many empty skulls in this area as there are in your classroom.
What I meant was the mistake that someone would try to remove the brain of a dead man.
Dead men, dead women, dead dogs, dead possums, you name it, all brainless.
I don't know the nature of these experiments, but as you have said, they obviously have something to do with the brain.
Obviously.
I would say so too, sir.
And with mad scientists, you never can tell. It's possible that he may have killed Mrs. Potter for her brain.
If there are no further questions, Inspector?
On the contrary, Professor, I have many more questions. But not now. I shall ask them in due course.
You do understand, Inspector, that we are anxious to continue the tour, the girls and I.
And Francis. I think he's cute.
Yes, and Francis.
Before you go, Professor.
Yes?
You said that you were the teacher of British literature. May I ask where?
You may.
Where?
Lorraine College in St. Louis. It's a school for women.
For women only?
Yes.
But then there's Basil.
Yes, there is me, Abernathy, but what's that got to do with the conversation at hand?
But there's Francis.
Yeah, Francis.
Now, Professor, you mentioned research that you yourself do. Could you please tell us a little bit about that old boy?
As I have said, just dabbling in old Elizabethan formulae. You know, I have newt, two a frog, wing of bat, just the standard stuff. Got a small laboratory in my apartment bathroom.
Anything to do with brains? Human brain?
No insults, Inspector. I'm a college professor and I have absolutely nothing to do with brains.
Yes. Well, it is strange, you'll have to admit, old boy, that you've ended up over 100 kilometers from your stated destination, and that you are, in fact, familiar with the work of one obscure, probably psychotic scientist like Dr.
Zono. I'm familiar with a lot of obscure work. All college professors are. And as for being here, have you ever tried to read a map after Francis threw up on it?
Good point, old man. You, covered the situation.
I trust you're through.
Basil, is Francis a student at this women's college or what?
Well, how in blazes should I know, Penelope?
I think he's adorable.
You stay away from him, Penelope. I'll make a canoe out of his skull. Ha! Yeah!
You're so excited when you're jealous.
Stop that, Penny. You never know who may be looking on.
Who cares? We're only doing what any normal man and woman would do. I'm only flesh and blood.
Penelope, we're on duty. We must obey regulations.
Where does it say a sergeant can't kiss an inspector?
Regulations handbook, page 115, paragraph 3. No fraternizing with the... Oh. But the regulations. But the murder. But... Oh, well, why not? What was that?
Just my heart beating. Lover.
No, I distinctly heard something else. Listen.
Always a detective. Why can't you just once? I heard that. It came from over there. Oh dear, look at that. A perfectly good nail has gone and broken itself.
Come on, Sergeant. Let's investigate.
Yes, dear. I mean, sir. But I'm never having my nails done at Maxine's again.
Look, I saw something move. Let's get him. You go first.
They've gone. That old movie bush did the trick.
Well, I hope they don't come back and catch us. They could throw us in jail. Would they do that? Would they really?
Of course not. Old Sniffleface here is just too frightened to face life, that's all. What could they do to us? What have we done?
Well, one of us might have murdered Mrs. Potter. Don't say that!
But it might be true.
I don't care if it is true. Don't say it. It gives me the creeps.
None of us could have killed Miss Potter. We were all right here.
Everyone in the castle is right here.
In the darkness.
In the darkness. And at least everyone we know about was right here.
You mean there might be others? Watching us through the wall? Or the ceiling? Or... Don't be silly, Sally. We didn't do it, that's the point.
Which means that somebody else did. And that doesn't leave many. So we should be able to figure this mystery out in a matter of minutes.
Do you know what I think?
Who cares?
I care. What do you think, Francis?
Well, here's what I think we ought to do.
Yes?
Run!
Wait a minute, brave one. I want all of you to know that I have this mystery solved.
If you know, why don't you turn him in? I don't like this game.
For a very good reason.
Well, what is it? Are you going to tell us?
We're supposed to think it's Dr. Zono.
We are? But he seems so nice. Boy, where have you been? Who says it's Dr. Zono?
You heard the inspector? He practically accused him right before our ears.
But he didn't.
For a very good reason.
Well, what is it?
Or it could be that ugly servant of his. What's his name?
Igor.
That's it. Even the name sounds gruesome. He's just the type that would commit murder. Or so they'd like us to believe.
Who would like us to believe? What are you talking about?
But it couldn't possibly be him.
Why not?
For a very good reason.
Will you please stop saying that? Say it could be this person, but it isn't. Say it could be that person, but it isn't. Well, if you're so smart, who is it?
The inspector.
The inspector? Are you sure?
The inspector?
Oh no, he's the only protection we had. Why did I ever come on this trip? I should have gone home to Columbus and perspired in the humid smells all summer. But no! I
wherever we are.
That's a very serious accusation, Agness. What kind of proof have you got? Any at all?
Well,
That's what I thought.
it's all circumstantial, but that's all right. They do it that way in the movies all the time. You simply confront the murderer, and he confesses.
And what if he, shoots you instead?
Oh, no, don't let him shoot me. Will you shut up? No one's gonna shoot you unless it's me.
Okay, Agness, give it to us. What's your circumstantial evidence?
Well, you remember when Miss Potter died, and he sent us out of the room so we could question the others in private? Why couldn't we all be there? Why did he need privacy? Because he didn't want us to put two and two together.
The way you did.
Exactly. I don't get it.
Agness, that's dumb.
Simple. He wouldn't accept my opinion because he was afraid I would accuse him. Don't you see? He said, I'll take care of it, or something like that. And the only reason he would have for saying that is that he didn't want us to figure out he was the real killer.
That's your proof?
It's all there. Perfectly simple, simply perfect. Airtight, case closed.
I've heard of circumstantial evidence. You must be joking.
Or it could be the sergeant. The inspector was trying to protect her. We saw them kissing outside the window, right?
Agness, men and women kiss.
They do?
That's why there are men and women.
It is?
Lisa, that was beautiful. Lisa the philosopher. Who would have guessed?
And just because women want to be equal to men doesn't mean they don't want relationships with them.
So you don't think it was the sergeant either?
Nope, absolutely not.
But how can you be so sure?
Because Francis and I know who it is.
You do? But you mean you've known all along? Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Don't we, darling?
We do? We do.
Girls, there are secret panels in this castle.
I knew it. They're watching everything we say, everything we do. And when they get ready, they're gonna kill us and put us in the oven for dinner.
Lizzie, we're not handling Gretel.
Are they really gonna do that? I wouldn't be surprised. Unless we do it to them first.
Agness, Francis and I found secret panels in this castle earlier. Find it again, maybe more. Come on, everyone, help us look.
Why can't we let the inspector do the looking?
Because he might be in with them, stupid.
And because we can figure this murder out, get our names in the paper, and become famous.
What about the professor? We can trust him, can't we?
I'm sure it was in this room. Come on, everyone, take a walk. It's around there someplace. Just keep looking.
What should we do if we find something?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I will. If there's a secret panel here, we'll find it. I still say it was the inspector. He probably dug up the bodies for Dr. Zono's experiments.
But didn't he come here on the trail of body snatchers?
An alibi he made up so he wouldn't figure out they were the real criminals. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna go to bed and pull the covers over my head. You're not leaving me here alone. I'm going with you. Suit yourself.
Francis, it's up to us to figure this murder out.
Why us? Why can't we find some place to hide and let the inspector solve it? After all, he's the professional.
Francis, use your eyes. The inspector's preoccupied with Penelope Abernathy, and Agness thinks she's Perry Mason.
Well, what about the professor?
He can't even find his way to Inverness.
That doesn't leave much then, does it?
You and me.
Like I said.
Listen, Francis, I'm getting a lot of guff from the other people in our group.
That's only because I got enrolled at Lorraine College because of my name. The registrar thought I was a girl.
And because of that new equal rights law, they don't dare throw you out.
But everyone makes fun of me. Except you, Lisa.
That's why it's up to us to figure this murder out, Francis. We'll show 'em. We'll show 'em all. Come on.
Where?
Back to that secret panel.
No.
Francis, this is no time to be faint-hearted. Now strike the iron while it's hot.
Whatever that is.
Never mind. Just come on.
We must finish tonight. Tomorrow the waters will recede and those fools will bring half of Scotland Yard to stand in our way. Oh. Nothing shall stand in my way. Oh. I have devised a new life-brain, dead-brain ratio. This breakthrough will eliminate the dead brain syndrome for good. And then I, Dr. Wolfgang Siegfried Zono, shall rule the world. Today, Transylvania, tomorrow the world. Transylvania, over on us. You know, if it were not that I am such a fine mad scientist, I think I could have made it on the stage. Or the cinema. But enough of this work. Igor, bring the table. Savor this moment, for it will be earth-shattering. Here, from our lonely outpost, we shall create hundreds of geniuses waiting to do my bidding. Soon, they will be throughout the world in top positions in governments, obeying my every command. And then, the world will be mine. Mine! What is my new formula? A mixture of brains, my dear Igor. A very special mixture. Created by, let us say developed by, the world's greatest and most daring mad scientist. Me. You see, one brain is good for some people, 2 brains is better. 1,000 brains is 1,000 times better. Provided that they can be combined in such a way that each brain compounds the intelligence of all original brains. That is where my special mixture comes in. It is, so to speak, a mixing pot. Every original brain gets formed into one ending brain, which of course combines all the intelligence and is as bright as all the original brains combined. In your case, dear Igor, even the dead brain can be an improvement. Oh, what the youth! We are missing a prime ingredient. We need at least 2 more cups of life brain extract for the formula to work, which we don't have. Where can we get them? The professor? No. Even on a good day, an American college professor could offer maybe 1 tablespoon. What? I don't understand. Okay, 1 word. 3 syllables. Sounds like... Wonder Woman. Sounds like... Inspector. The inspector. Oh, no. He's from Scotland Yard. Maybe a tablespoon. One of the girls? By George, Igor. I think maybe you've got something there. But which one? A lady policeman sergeant. Now, we would need at least 10 like that. And then there's Agness. No, we're looking for a brain formula, not a mouth formula. Lisa, yeah. Lisa, she's good for 3 or 4 cups of life brain extract. Una, I wonder where she is. Igor, go and find Lisa and bring her back here. Strap her to the chair. We are going to get her brain. Okay, go on. Igor, take the body. I'll get this. And while you're doing that, I'm going to fix the brain suction device. Make sure it's working. Good thing that salesman stopped by a few months ago, leaving so conveniently a sampling case behind. One try. So. Wunderbar. That should suck even the smallest brain out of an American teenager. Well, I guess it's ready. You work very quickly for a reject from a horror film. My dear. She can't understand you. What she was failing to realize is that you are being honored. Yeah? You are making a contribution to science greater than Marie Curie. A contribution to the human race greater than Florence Nightingale. Greater even than Brunhilde Schultz. Brunhilde Schultz, she was my great aunt. She gave me my first chemistry set when I was a wee little boy. But in light of all this, you should feel proud. I tell you what, if it is not screaming you are, I remove the gag. Okay, we go remove the gag. Use the old calmer downer on that young fool.
Francis, darling, aren't you going to save me now, Francis?
What's done is done, Liebchen. Igor, would you like to? Well, it's ready? Okay. On with the show, Igor. Hit the juice. Igor! You have made it too short in the circuit. Come on. Let's get Lisa off and hide her into the keep. We will be overrun by Scotland Yarders, literature professors, and boneheaded students quicker than you can take out here in mountains. Oh, sorry. Well, we can't really count that, can we? Come on, hurry.
I'm sure I heard screaming coming from this room.
You're gonna hear screaming coming from this room again. Will you shut up? They'll hear you in London and think the blitz is on again.
We've got to keep our stiff upper lip, you know. We've got to keep our heads. Speaking of heads, I wonder who or what has just thrown its arms about my neck.
Just little old me, Basil, honey. Boo.
Penelope, you please stop fooling around in the dark.
You'd rather I fooled around in the light?
And can somebody please do something about those ruddy lights? Well, thank you. That's more like it. Now, where were we?
We heard screaming coming from this room.
Quite.
Say, look at this. It wasn't over here before.
Someone's been using this room as a laboratory.
I'll wager that our eccentric host has been up to his little tricks again.
Did you see that? What was it?
It was Francis.
Seemed a bit odd, wouldn't you say?
Well, I don't know. Seemed pretty normal to me.
You call that normal?
Have you ever had him for an 8 o'clock class?
I see your point. But this isn't an 8 o'clock class. It's a creepy Scottish castle at 2 in the morning. Francis is a zombie. Someone stole this train.
Be reasonable, Agness. Why would anyone want it?
Now listen. Frankly, I couldn't care a row of pins about Francis or his brain. But something highly irregular is going on around here, and I jolly well intend to find out what.
I feel the same. Look at that! Francis and Lisa told us something about a secret panel, but I thought they were making it up.
Would you look at that? Come on. I think we'd better follow him. Penelope! Ivey, Sergeant Abernathy! Lead the way!
Anything you say, lover.
Sorry to use your line and thing, but this is fun. Heavy load. Oh, come on, put it here. Oh, I'm stepping on my smack. Okay. Now to fix this little stinker. Igor, fetch the instruments. Let's see. Hammer. Very good. Oh, I'm sorry. Pliers. Screwdriver. Phillip said. All right. Here's the problem over here. Can opener. I'd forgotten where I left my lunch. Let's see what it is, huh? No. Ooh, liver fish with mayo. Oh, try some. No, I wish we had a pickle to go with this. A pickle. You know, a cucumber in the form of life. I suppose so. We should really hurry up with this, because we got so much to do. We got to synthesize her brain before dawn. That's ridiculous. Well,
where am I?
Right here, Liebchen. We were still having some refreshments while you were napping. But since you're here and ready, we can begin again. Igor, the headpiece, please. Such a noise. One would think you are not appreciating the honor upon which we are bestowing you. You ready, Igor? Hit the juice. Wait. Let me do it. Soda better. Wow. She's still too short in the circuit. I don't understand. Igor, put me down. Not like that. You idiot, what are you doing? I wasn't thinking what I was doing with my hands, back and forth. Igor. Igor, come here. Go and fix the Schmittdial, all right? Igor. Yeah. That's better. Yeah! She's gone! Nope. Igor, what did you do with her? Tell me, you black-hearted beastie, or I shall beat the hump off your back. You wanted her for yourself, didn't you? Why is it that all you misshapen creatures of the Carpathian make fools of yourselves over pretty young women? It was a motto in Esmeralda. King Kong and Fay, Beauty and the Beast, Boris Karloff and Elsa Lanchester, Sonny and Cher. What is it with you monsters? Is you all slow in the tinker? Now go bring back that girl. I need her more than you do. I just don't know what to do with him. I've been too lenient. Spare the rod and spoil the monster. That's what my father used to say. Yes, sir.
Boy, am I glad we have that passageway. The others can go on without me. Suddenly dark, creepy, and full of bats and mice. Boy, am I glad to be off my feet. It's been a long day. You have 5 minutes to return the girl there, or I shall chain you to the key by your big toe. This monster problem is getting so out of hand. I guess if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself.
Igor, quite correct in assuming that I find the dominating male quite exciting. just a bit. Oh, that's really not necessary, but I think I should warn you. Hazel is quite jealous and a bit unreasonable at times.
At your age, you should know that women are not like policemen. They're never around when you want them. And Penelope, being a policeman, or policewoman as the case may be, it only serves to confound the felony. Oh, this country air always makes me a bit drowsy. Perhaps I'll just rest my eyes a bit.
Is this your idea of a joke? You misshapen, misbegotten son of a Romanian bather? Your sense of humor is getting fight for the pen. I've had it until trying to be a comedian. You bring back the girl to me right now. Right now, as it is, I'm going to cut off her earlobes and use them as fish bait. Go!
Inspector! Wake up! You're on duty. How can you be sleeping at a time like this?
5 more minutes, Mummy.
Inspector!
I was just resting my eyes, don't you know?
There's something very strange going on around this castle.
If you'll pardon me for saying so, old chap, one hardly needs a professor to figure that out.
All the girls have disappeared one by one.
Disappeared one by one?
Right. First, of course, there was Lisa, then Lizzie, next your Sergeant. Now I can't find a trace of either Agness or Sally.
Frankly, I consider that a bit of a blessing, old man.
But they're my responsibility. Besides, what about the others?
There must be a logical reason. What would anyone want with all those female persons?
I shudder to think.
Rather, I've noticed that about you professional types. But tell you what I'll do. I'll sleep on it.
It was a mistake to let Scotland Yard get mixed up in this caper. Oh well, guess it shouldn't be any different from all the rest. It's all up to me.
All right, already, I believe you. I'm just an old softy now. This is the last straw. Your sense of humor is out of hand. I have a good mind to inject you with extract of chicken brain, only it would be an improvement. We've wasted enough time. It looks like we're gonna have to do with what we've got. Slap him in the chair.
I say, what's the meaning of this? What's going on?
Oh, sorry, Inspector, but we're gonna have to borrow your brain.
What's that you say? Borrow my brain?
Well, maybe borrow isn't such a good word. Take would be more precise. But don't worry, I don't think you'll ever miss it.
Now, see here. I'm an officer of the Queen, don't you know?
Yes, I do. Now, Inspector, this should work this time. This should only...
It tickles.
It will be only moments before the impeller blades build up to full RPM. And then you won't feel a thing. Action. You idiot! You have pulled the plug on my experiment.
The plug has been pulled on your experiment permanently, Zono.
What is this?
You're under arrest. Lock your hands at the top of your head.
Now, see here, Professor. What's the meaning of this? This is my case.
Sorry to pull rank on you, old man. This is my case. Your case had to do with the simple grave robbing.
Well, who is you, anyway?
Agent 000, codename Q. Intro.
You? Why, you're higher than him.
I've been closing in on Zono and his backers for months. Being a college professor was my cover.
His backers?
Zono is an evil genius, but he's not in this alone. An international cartel bent upon world domination has been supplying him with funds for years.
The devil, you say?
Just about now, in dozens of other countries, Confederates are rounding up his agents. In Rio, Tokyo, Johannesburg, Sydney, Effingham, Illinois.
Unbelievable.
Unscrupulous, Inspector. Diabolical.
Please, Professor, I beg of you, let me continue my experiments for the sake of science, for the betterment of man.
It was some things man was just not meant to know or understand, Zono.
Speaking of that, what the devil did he do with the women?
I did nothing with the women. That was Igor.
I'm afraid we'll never see them again.
Pity. Poor Abernathy. And she was just beginning to get the hang of police work.
Watch it, Francis. Do you have to be a clumsy elf all your life?
Nothing suspended in my experiments now. Not Scotland Yard, not Interpol, no one. I am going to go through with this final injection. Now. Igor, what are you doing? Igor, those are my notes. If you rip those up, no one will ever be able to redo the experiment. Not even me.
All right, you two, I've got the gun back.
There. Very good. I mean, good, Professor.
Igor, you can talk.
Yes, Inspector. The doctor's brain enhancer injection is taking effect.
Then the formula works?
Only to a point, I'm sorry to say, Professor.
Do you know the point, Igor?
The life-brain ratio is not in balance. The dead brain syndrome will set in, and the effects are not reversible. In the meantime, it is important that these notes be destroyed. This has to be destroyed.
But what about Zono? After all, it's his experiment.
Without the notes, he is useless. They do not represent his work, but his father's, who was a real genius. This man belongs in a hospital for the criminally insane.
Igor, think of the loss of science.
Science in the world can do without the formula that enhances the brain power of one man, at the expense of killing a dozen others. This formula, this X formula, is such a preposterous combination that it can only have been achieved to the extent that it has, by a genius like Zono's father, and a madman like Zono.
But it doesn't seem to be having any bad effects on you.
I assure you, I have but moments left.
Quick then, tell us what happened to the girls.
I wish I could, Professor, but I just don't know. I strapped them initially in the chair, but each time I returned, they had vanished.
Tell me, do you know who killed Mrs. Potter?
I'm afraid, gentlemen, that I must take credit for that little indiscretion.
But why?
I had hoped the doctor would overcome the dead brain syndrome. I wished for obvious reasons to be injected with it once it was perfected. I was an obvious choice for the experiment, but Mrs. Potter loathed me and would have persuaded or prevented the doctor from using the experiment on me once it was perfected.
Yes, go on.
Mrs. Potter became very angry with me after the cadaver I stuffed up the chimney, lounging got soot all over the rug. She swore at her mother's grave, assuming she had a mother.
that she would tell the doctor that the experiment would be wasted on her. I couldn't let her do that, of course. And so the only effective means of stopping her was a bread knife between her third and fourth ribs.
Extraordinary!
So, gentlemen, I assume you can mark your books closed on both your cases.
Not so fast, Igor. You'll have to stand trial for the murder of Mrs. Potter.
I'm afraid you are too late.
What do you mean?
The dead brain syndrome.
Exactly. I have not much time left, gentlemen. Farewell. It was nice knowing you.
Is he?
Yes. The dead brain syndrome has run its course. Poor tormented fellow. He's gone to that big horror movie in the sky.
This has been an extremely extraordinary night.
Well, the case is closed and the world is safe, but not without its cost. Lisa, Lizzie, Agness, Sally, not to mention, well, Sergeant Abernathy, Igor and Mrs. Potter.
And don't forget that Francis child, reduced to a mindless zombie.
Well, Francis hasn't changed that much. Say, let me instruct you.
Smashing on beam. It would be nice to have some circulation throughout my limbs again.
I said, what was that? Well, probably just some birds in the chimney.
By Jove, birds in the chimney.
Girls, what were you doing in the chimney?
That freaky Francis stuffed us down the chimney one at a time. I tell you, he's weird. He is not sweet and wonderful. He's under some kind of evil spell. Basil! I thought I'd never see you again.
Good evening, my dear.
What's going on between the two of you, anyway? This is all pretty fishy.
Well, maybe you should tell them, Basil.
Do you really think I should?
Well, they have a right to know.
Well, it's all dastardly embarrassing, but Penelope and I are
Yes?
newlyweds.
But we mustn't let the yard know. Nepotism and all that. Your secret is safe with us. Thank you.
Well, Zono, let's go.
You didn't say Simon say.
Simon said, come on. Well, maybe we can stop off for a bite to eat on the way.
Okay, but no sliders. Sliders give me gas like the Murley.
Look at that! It's the living dead!
Be gentle with him. Told you he's under some kind of evil spell. But what can we do about it? I've got an idea. It always used to work in fairy tales.
What are you gonna do, Lisa?
This.
Where am I?
Wow, it worked.
Francis, darling, are you okay? Is there anything we can get for you?
Yes, my boy. You've been quite brave, daring, and ingenious. Your conscious mind might be, well, a little timid, but underneath, you're a brave man.
Thank you, Professor. Could you arrange a transfer for Lisa and me? I've decided that an all-girls school is just too much for one man.
we have a few announcements we'd like to make, a few people we'd like to thank before you all leave.